Get ready for Draper Radio.
Hey guys, it's Mr. Blaze.
And Mr. Whipple.
Yes. Mr. Swicky sends his regards, but he is not a fan of eggnog. Oops, I just spilled the beans there.
I don't know why he's not a fan. I am a fan.
Yeah.
I'm down with the eggnog.
The nog.
The nog.
It is a really divisive sort of holiday tradition.
Yeah.
Like you could probably rattle off a handful of people that don't like eggnog at all.
I would probably say most people in my house no eggnog.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think it's an unusual textury type of drink.
Right.
That's not a milkshake.
Yes, it's not.
It's not a milkshake. It's not liquidy enough to be something else. So
right, like an actual like a chocolate milk, if you will.
Right. Right.
Where it's
thicker than chocolate milk, less than
right
a milkshake.
It's almost people. I'm surprised nobody started. I didn't find this in my researches. Started as a kind of like a dieting trend, like a meal replacement.
Yeah.
You could probably. It's kind of like, I guess if Rocky was going to have one, Rocky would probably have eggnog.
Eggnog.
Because he's
training. He's trying to get that. Well,
yep.
What's it made out of? It's got eggs.
Yep, it's got eggs.
Egg whites.
Milk. Sugar.
Yeah.
And sometimes I guess you might use like half and half or something like that too. Or
and then you throw in your spices.
Mm-hmm. No, right. A little nutmeg. Yeah, and sometimes it has it mixed in there. Like speaking of spices, do you sprinkle nutmeg on the top?
I haven't.
Okay.
I haven't. Now, to be fair, I haven't drank a ton of eggnog in my life.
No.
Right, because it's typically become a seasonal drink.
Right. Yeah, it's from like November-ish, maybe the beginning of November till January, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
You can't have like an eggnog at Easter.
No.
You can't have it in the summertime.
Spring. No.
In the summertime, you get all sorts of health issues there with if it's out too long. You wouldn't want to have it out by the grill.
No, you wouldn't have your hamburgers, hot dogs, and eggnog.
No, I think
that combo. That's
a recipe for a disaster right there. I know Ms. Niles could probably tell us, the science resident in-house science teacher could probably tell us all sorts of things that would be happening in here. So maybe she can comment on YouTube with some of the bad
Niles,
things.
we're going to be checking for your comments here on the combination of hamburgers, hot dogs, and eggnog.
Yeah.
Is it meal.
Is it a go, or is it I gotta go after that?
I think it's going to be the latter. I think it's going to be I gotta go.
Yeah. It is good. Yeah. It's just Mr. Swicky and I always talk about things are good in moderation, and I believe that eggnog would fall into that category because
100%.
It is so decadent. Speaking of decadent, I've never had it, but traditionally in earlier times, it was served warm.
Yes. I read about that. I read about the history, and I apologize. My allergies are killing me right now.
Oh, that's okay. Maybe it's my beard is glowing in your face.
Do you have tissues in here?
Yes.
All right, excuse me for 1 second.
All right.
1 second. All right.
No problem. We'll keep it rolling here.
Keep it rolling.
So, Mr. Swicky is a no for the eggnog. I'm a yes with stipulations. Mr. Whipple is also a yes.
I'm a yes.
My stipulation is I can have it in very small doses. Why? Because I am lactose intolerant, I found out. And when the irony of that is both my father and I, during Lent, would give up ice cream. And the irony that he later found out he was lactose intolerant, and me as well.
Wow.
It just doesn't agree with my stomach. I mean, it's small. Like I have I'm having cake with a little bit of ice cream, but decorating the tree. We just had our Christmas tree episode. Speaking of episodes, this is number 5. We kind of went right into it full steam here.
Yeah, we did.
So, so I can have a little bit like after dinner or like with dessert, like a juice glass. That's about what. Any more than that, I'm in trouble. It's just stomach is just gonna fisticuffs with me. So
well, I'm lucky. I'm not lactose intolerant, and I could,
That's good.
On a Christmas night, a nice glass of eggnog.
Yeah.
I'm all in.
Yeah. Oh, without a doubt.
know?
I think it signifies like the beginning of a season, like putting up the tree, having the eggnog, and kind of like the peanut butter jelly of the season, if you will.
The peanut butter jelly. I like that analogy. I like that. Yeah, and in my research that I did, what I found was in colonial America, in New England, excuse me,
Yep.
they would serve it with rum.
Oh, yes.
They would mix
yeah.
it with rum. But
Right.
in the South, they preferred it with whiskey or bourbon.
Because I think, rum was rum. Now this is something I don't know much about. Was rum traditionally more northern?
Yeah.
Northern, and then I know like you always hear like bourbon, like Kentucky bourbon.
Right.
And again, we're talking this because we are of 21 years of age or older.
True.
If you're under, please steer clear until it's your time, or it'll wreak havoc on your life.
Yes.
Little PSA
We'll
there.
find you.
So bourbon, it was more like southern, like Kentucky,
Yes.
Tennessee, that sort of any of the southern states, and then rum would be more northern. But a lot of liquor.
Yes. Mixed with the
Right.
which I don't know. Again, the consistency of eggnog, it's thick.
It is, and here's the interesting. Like, how would we describe it to someone who never had it before? Let's start with like consistency.
I would say it's like drinking an egg,
Yeah.
right? Like, so you referred to Rocky. Rocky used to crack eggs and
Right.
just drink the eggs.
Right in the blender.
So a little smoother, but it's like drinking an egg. I would
is.
say the consistency is that of, milk and eggs.
Milk and eggs. Yeah.
Milk and eggs.
Yeah.
you know?
Okay.
But not as thick as a milkshake.
No, or like the ultimate milkshake. My wife used to work at Friendly's, and they had like the Fribble,
The fribble.
and you could put the straw in it.
Yes.
And Friendly's is a nationwide chain, right?
I believe
Pretty
so.
sure. I mean, now there's like it's
like
like a
five left.
unicorn.
Yeah.
You find one, you're lucky. But you could turn that shake upside down with the straw still in it, and nothing's coming out until
Yeah.
it melts.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not there. That's a one extreme. Water being on there, and then you have milk. So eggnog falls, like you said, right between like the milk and a milkshake.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's no ice in it. Maybe people like ice. I don't know. Like some people like ice in their milk,
Right.
but I don't know. I've never had ice in it, and I've never had it warm. Have you ever had it warm?
Warm milk.
Eggnog?
Warm eggnog. I might have.
Yeah.
Again, it's been a while, and I
Yeah.
haven't had any this season yet. But
No.
doing this episode, on my way home, I'm getting a gallon of eggnog.
Cheers.
Oh, 100%.
Cheers to that.
Yeah, and I'm sure we have nutmeg or cinnamon
Yeah.
at home that we could.
A little sprinkle. I think it's kind of like frosting on a cake.
Yeah.
Here again, I'm hungry. Getting all the food analogies here.
We haven't even hit fruitcake yet.
I know we haven't. No, that's a whole other beast on its own. But yeah, I just saw it like like the food commercials and a little sprinkle of nutmeg or whatever your favorite spice is.
Yeah.
It's like finishes it off, right?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like a bow on a gift, if you will, and
Yes.
kind of makes it look nice and
Right.
more inviting.
Yeah, I think whatever you prefer, spice wise, put on it. I think it just, like you said, it just adds that little extra
Yeah,
kick to it.
it does.
But yeah, I'm all in on the eggnog. I
Okay.
think it's a great seasonal drink.
Yep.
It's like you said, it's like putting up the Christmas tree. I think it's got to come around during.
It's there. It's like it'd be on one of our end tables. We like, hey, we're starting a tree. Who's getting the eggnog?
Right.
Boom, we get it done.
Yeah, and I'm actually surprised that the hustle and bustle of the season. You're shopping, you get things ready. You're decorating. You're putting up the Christmas lights. They go out. You got to fix that problem.
Oh yeah, it's a never ending.
Which mine right now, they were working great.
Oh,
They've been
no.
working great for a couple weeks, and now I just have. All right, now I just have one strand that's working and like 5 strands that are out.
Oh,
So,
that's tough. That's tough.
Yeah. So this time of year, you're always on the go, right?
Oh yeah, you literally feel like I was describing that sensation to I was calling my mom on the way into work, and it's like I feel like I'm a dog chasing my own tail.
Yeah.
Like I'm never going to catch it.
No, I know.
Unless my tail is really long, but like my dog is pretty good at it. But
yeah,
I just feel like I'm driving. The instant I get somewhere, I'm going somewhere else. I'm planning the next thing, and it's the season is beautiful, but we get caught up in a lot of the wrong reasons and stuff. But but it kind of like Thanksgiving, how we like being around family. I think is like the trump, like to the season of giving. Like my son, giving gifts. He works so hard. You think he earned maybe $1,200 this summer mowing lawns. So he knows the value of a buck.
Yep.
And I can't say it on air, but he bought some not so cheap gifts for many family members, hundreds of dollars worth of gifts.
That's
a
great.
Ninth grader.
Yeah.
And didn't think twice about it, and he can't wait for everyone to open their gifts.
And I think that right there is the best part, because I'm sure you're the same way.
Yeah.
You can't wait to see their faces.
Yep.
Or how much they like what they got. Like
yeah.
A big surprise.
Yeah, how you think you can see okay, they're going to use this for that. And
yeah.
They've been talking about it, and my brother-in-law talks about we have to pick out hats or pick out names out of a hat for the family, so we don't have to get gifts for every single person, right?
Yeah.
So what we'll do is I pick one out, and then he goes, a person should know who they're getting it for, and they should know who that person is. So being an active listener, be like, yeah, I was going out for a run the other day, and I wish I had this headlamp because it was getting kind of dark. Jot that down.
Headlamp.
Boom, that guy wants a headlamp. Or, hey, I'm gonna be doing this. Actually, I have to be really careful because I could easily slip on a gift right now. But just being an active listener and just taking notes of that. And my wife is really, really good about knowing that. And I'm always like surprised. I'm like, what? She got that? Dang.
I think we talked to the differences in genders.
Yes.
Last time.
Yes.
Women are so much, I think, better gift givers.
Yeah.
Way better. I'm horrible.
I agree. I mean, I'll be honest. My gift just came thanks to Amazon the other day.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing about shopping, right? So you're not going to have 2 Amazon Prime accounts in the house.
Right.
It's stupid, right? And this is my. Is Jeff Bezos even in charge anymore? I don't know. Whoever Jeff. Okay, so listen here.
He's
so
jacked up now.
Here's what we got to do, right? For Amazon accounts, we have one Prime account. Can you make it so when we order a gift for our spouse, we have ways of kind of keeping it private from the other person for gifts? You could have it so you have a little password access code, like Netflix. We can log on to different profiles,
right.
But I don't want the kids to go on to adult profiles to see things they don't need to see. We have passcodes. Can we do something like that? Because what I have to do is my sister-in-law is like, well, why don't you just Venmo me the money? I'll order through my Amazon account and sneak it over to you. So I did that this year, and my daughter did, because even if you start going on Amazon, start searching, right? It comes up in your history, and all of a sudden you see, oh, why is X, Y, or Z in my history here?
Yeah. I think that would be a great idea if there was a little checkbox that says this is a gift.
Yeah.
Or gift for, you know what I mean? Something that says hide it.
Right.
So whoever else comes onto the Amazon can't see it.
Isn't it? You think that's a good idea? I mean,
Jeff Bezos, if you're listening.
Yeah.
I
take a little of this.
Yeah.
Same color as my beard.
That's right.
A little De Niro.
You help me, we'll help you.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm right brain, creative thinker here. Teachers, we're in the zone. We could always use a few extra bucks here or there. We love what we do, but
yes, we could.
But gas isn't getting any cheaper. Actually, it is. It did get a little cheaper.
It's going down.
I got it the other day in Scotia for $2.83.
Really?
Yes. Come to Scotia where we have cheap gas. Yes.
Wow.
There's a little gas station across from Scotia High School.
Yep, I know exactly where it is.
So Scotia being upstate, we're upstate New York here. And then there's also the Cumberland right on Mohawk Ave in Scotia.
Yes.
That's $2.83.
Plus, if you have the Cumberland app.
I actually just got a thing, 20 cents off.
Yes.
So it could be $2.63.
It's like giving it away.
That's almost like price of when I had my second car.
Yeah.
You know, when I remember when we first got our first car, it was like what, like $1
Dollar
change?
something.
Like,
I remember that.
What? You could get like 4 gallons for the price of 1 gallon
Back
now.
in the mid-'90s, it was. I remember one of my good friends' mother.
Yeah.
We were home, and she came home, and she said, "Guys, go get your gas now. It's 99 cents." It was 99 cents a gallon. You know.
Yeah.
And what was the last summer? $4 or $5?
Oh my
I think it hit
gosh.
$5 last summer, didn't it?
Yeah, and with you have a truck as well. I mean, talking 24, 20, easy, just shy of 100, if not over.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and they're not the best on gas. I mean, it
No,
can be
they're not.
good, and then if you warm up your vehicle, there it goes. I have like this smart idle, so it'll shut off at a
Yeah.
light, which is nice. Only problem in the winter when it's like crazy cold, it's a little
Don't turn
cold.
off.
It's like I need to turn that feature off, or in the summer too, same thing. But
Now, not to change the subject, man.
yeah,
Being in the Northeast,
yeah.
a truck is essential. You got to have a truck.
I'm very
At
happy
least
to have
one
one.
for every household.
Yeah,
Not necessarily your commuter, even
Right.
though mine's my everything commuter.
Oh
work
yeah,
truck.
yeah. Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
Totally.
But you got to have a truck.
I
And-
agree.
But at the same time, like I said, with the price of gas and they're not fuel efficient,
No,
it's just.
I mean they have eco modes and stuff, but my wife's Honda minivan gets better. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
mine's like a turbo, so it's nice. It can be efficient. It's got 10 speeds.
Really?
10 speeds. I'm like,
Wow.
what? 10, that's like a bicycle.
Yeah.
It's got 10 speeds on it. I'm like, you can, and it's got all sorts of gear, like drive modes as well. Like it has an eco mode, a regular mode, a towing mode. And when I used the towing mode, it actually helped. And when I used it
Yeah.
in sport mode,
Not bad, huh?
pretty good pickup. I'm like, I don't need a sports car.
Dude,
This
you got
baby
it. You got the
goes.
truck. You got the sports truck.
It's blue. I'm like every vehicle. It's so funny. The first truck I looked at was blue.
Really?
And I'm like, I'll go for it. And
Yeah.
my son's like, Dad, why are we looking? Why are you looking anywhere else? You're not going to get it. I'm
got
like,
it.
no, there's another one out there. No, there wasn't another one out there. I drove a couple other vehicles, Chevys, and it was too loud. And, you know, I'm like, would my wife mind driving this?
Yeah.
You know, I could be out there and have like the big one of the, has that got a Hemi in it? You know, like,
Yeah.
where the guys have got like, you know, like their tractor trailer exhaust out
yeah.
there. You know, like, I mean, the
big
ones
pipes.
you hear them coming, they drown out any car stereo,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I've never seen the appeal to that. And I don't judge it. Like, if that's what
Yeah.
you like, go for it.
Bigger, better.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, my truck, it's a 2011.
Okay.
So I'm just happy I have power windows.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah,
You
my
know?
last vehicle was a 2013, so I get
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's great. It's a Dodge
Yeah.
Ram.
And the whole value.
Yes.
When I was looking at trucks, I mean, I saw some 140,000 miles on it, and you're still looking at 15,000,
Yeah.
which doesn't seem like a lot, but
No,
I mean, they
they're
hold their
great.
value.
They're built great.
you know.
Yeah.
And no matter like the brand, for the most part, I mean, and taking care of it, you know, the truck had Line-X,
Yeah.
the bed, and my friend was telling me, oh, you can get that for the underside too, and I was like, I might do that, because you always see like some vehicles that haven't, like, you know, like because in the Northeast we have rocks all around, and it's just like a little beaver chewing away at that. So keep it on, and I'm gonna make sure I get my frequent, you know, car washes, and
Yep. Yep.
I call it a car. Do you call a truck a car more than you call it a truck sometimes, or is it just me?
Well, I go through the car wash,
Yeah,
but I think if I'm referring to my vehicle, I say truck.
you say truck.
My truck.
Yeah,
Yeah, go to my truck. It's in
Yeah.
my truck.
yeah. I got to
Yeah.
start saying that, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a psychology thing.
Yeah.
Right?
It is. It is. Isn't it funny though? You wouldn't call a car a truck, but sometimes
No.
people call trucks cars. And this is my first truck, so it's kind of like, you know, like if someone moved a silverware drawer.
Yeah.
You know, you go back to the same spot. I keep going back to the same name, calling it a car. You know, because I had more cars than I had trucks. But I think I'm a change guy. I think, you know, like all these trips to Lowe's. Like my father was like, "Hey, I need to get some mulch." I'm here.
Yeah,
Have truck.
yeah.
We'll go.
Truck
So
guy.
I fit in, like, I mean, it's got a shorter bed because I have the crew cab, you know, for the family and everything. But I fit 45, 50 bags of mulch in the back,
Yep.
and open up the door for the back, fold the seats up,
Yeah.
has rubber mats, so I can, after a hike, the dog can go in, muddy as anything.
Yep.
I fit a full-size wheelbarrow, fully assembled, open up the door, right in the
there.
back, with
Yeah.
45 bags of mulch. I'm like, this is money.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I am so happy I have a truck right now. And I can't, and last year I was so disappointed with snow. I hope I'm not this year, because I was ready. I'm like, oh, let me put on four-wheel drive. Then I got out of my neighborhood. Oh,
Yeah,
there's nothing.
No.
Because our neighborhood is never like, we're like the last to get plowed. Like on Christmas Day, my father-in-law came over. I probably said this before, and he goes, I'm like, I'm coming over. There was about 2 feet of snow. It was like a few years ago we had that. And I go, just so you know, I'm not shoveling.
Yeah.
No, it's not going to happen. I said, he got plowed out. I don't have a plow. We had a snow blower. I used to shovel for all the years, though. I shovel, whatever.
Oh, yeah, I don't mind.
I mean,
Listen, I look forward to a good snowstorm.
Yeah.
I love being out there, getting everything cleaned up.
Right.
Get your headphones in.
Yeah.
And to me, that's a great morning.
It is. You earn that coffee. It's like doing a 5K on a Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You earn that Thanksgiving meal.
Yeah.
But one thing I got to tell people out there, though, it's an exercise.
Huge.
And people go out there. It's like, I don't hop on the bench and start doing 150 pounds.
Yeah.
I'm warming up the muscles, getting everything loose. And because shoveling is one of the most awkward exercises.
Oh, yeah.
You can easily, you got to lift with your legs. Your legs are stronger.
Shoveling?
I've hurt my back because I had to do so much of it, but I haven't pulled anything.
My eye keeps watering. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Just the thought of
That
shoveling.
time of season.
Thought of shoveling makes you sad.
It does make me sad. We don't have any snow.
So, what? I thought this was an eggnog episode.
Yeah. Back to the eggnog. We got off track.
So, do you want to hear? So, a few places, they attributed to I don't know if there's any one person, but I think kind of in medieval kind of like Britain, that time.
Yes.
They call it posset.
Posset. I was.
If that's the correct way you say it.
Yeah, posset.
Yeah.
Warm milk curdled with alcohol, such as wine or beer, flavored with spices.
Everything sounds good except the curdled part.
I was just gonna say, if you just said warm milk
Yeah.
with alcohol, such as wine or beer, flavored with spices, but the
curdled part.
throws a little curve into there,
Yeah.
right? Like, wait, why's it gotta be curdled?
It's like, okay, now we're changing the consistency we were talking about.
Yes.
So now we're taking it into cottage cheese territory.
Yes. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Curdled milk is one of the worst smells
Oh, yeah.
that a human can smell.
It is. It ranks up there with
Baby diapers.
baby diapers, Limburger cheese,
Yes.
that sort of
Aroma.
yeah, armpit.
Yeah.
Not gonna
Curdled milk is, but posset is
posset.
warm,
Yeah.
curdled milk.
And I guess you probably know about this, being like a historian, is that milk, egg, sherry, and all those ingredients, peasants weren't having any of that.
No,
That wasn't
upper class.
common. Upper class. So
Upper class.
it's a sign of royalty. We have power. Look at check out our
Origin.
nog, our posset.
Right.
Sipping back on Grandpa's posset there.
Well, that's even today, right? Like caviar,
Oh yeah,
right? That's
yeah.
I don't have caviar in my house,
Nope.
right? But that was the equivalent of the sherry,
Right.
Yeah, right.
Right.
In medieval times, we have spices and sherry,
Yeah.
right? So, but the peasants, they're just drinking the curdled milk.
Yeah. Just getting the scraps. Like this stuff at that point, it's just close to being like cement.
Yes.
It's
Ooh.
like curdled. It might have a little more extra color to it, if you will.
Yes.
So yeah, they used it for a lot of like toast, like we were talking around on the Christmas tree, like a celebratory thing,
Right,
having, and then and yeah, like you were saying in America, we were talking about Northern had got into rum and they had a lot of farms, so they had like milk, they had chickens, so you have your eggs and all of that. Like in the 1700s is kind of like what I read. In Mexico, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce it, Rompope, Rompop. I didn't find a Rompope. Yeah, maybe a pope. Yeah, like a little A accent.
Yeah.
On the end there, and it had more like a vanilla flavor to it.
Okay.
Puerto Rico had coquito, and they use coconut milk in theirs. Probably because it's more territorial, right? More, it'd be more prominent to have coconuts there, where we have a lot of dairy cows, and it's each area has a different thing.
Sure.
So yeah, a lot of different names. So we were talking about like we had Nog.
Yep.
The original one was Posset, Rompope, Coquito, and like Nog. What Nog? Like you think about like your head.
Yeah,
like you're noggin, right? So meaning also noggin meaning a wooden cup. Or grog, like a strong beer. And 18th century eggnog finally latched on as being the official.
Okay.
So, like the strong beer being tied in there, because, and I think too, back then, without the lack of refrigeration, between like salts curing meats and alcohol helped kill off a lot of the bacteria.
Right.
So that helped with preservation. But again, if you're going to have alcohol like that, you're going to have royalty too, to go with that. Like I have so much out, I just put it in my nog, my posset.
I use my surplus.
Yeah, my surplus of that.
Yeah. But it's interesting to see how it's now kind of evolved into this holiday season.
It really has over the years, become like celebratory.
Because you don't see it in the stores, like you said, in the summer.
No, you can't find it, and also, it's something they don't really regulate. Like it's always hearing like FDA, like regulating all like the Food and Drug Administration about what's going in our bodies, and they only require as little as 1% egg to be considered eggnog.
Really?
As little as 1%.
So I feel like a lot of things are misleading with their names.
Yeah.
A lot of things.
Yeah.
So if I'm thinking eggnog, it's got to have at least 50% egg.
Right. When you look at the ingredients, like you don't want to see like 12 ingredients you can't pronounce. And then the 14th one is
the egg.
Yeah. Like reconstituted, I always, like my wife hates it when I say this, but, like looking at it, it's got chicken in it. When they say mechanically separated chicken, she's like, could you just not say that? Like, why do they have to put that on the packaging? Like this,
mechanically seperated.
Yeah, poor chicken.
Vulgar.
It does. Poor chicken never had a chance. Like,
no, you saw the machine coming.
You should just put like R.I.P. chicken or something like that.
Yeah.
Because they served their purpose.
This was good chicken.
This was good chicken. He lived a good life. He was free to roam.
Yeah. Oh, mechanically separated.
Like a twister. I was born to walk alone.
Yeah.
So that was crazy. So, and what we can't find in the stores too is, back in the day, it was like raw egg.
Right.
You're not going to find. I mean, maybe in like European or different countries, but like you might find some where like there's no, like the FDA isn't like restrictive, but you can get. Is it pasteurized eggs? Right? Is that what makes them like where they have a cookie dough place? And I remember a former teacher here talking about they have to be like pasteurized. So they're like they don't cause you to get illness, but. Not back then, like they didn't do that. So, the alcohol was added, but now you can't go to the store and find like raw egg milk.
No.
I mean, that's just, right? I see, like in the summertime, you got your hot dogs, you got your hamburgers, and you got your raw eggnog.
Yeah.
Not
mixing. It's not mixing. You're going to get kicked out of the party.
Oh, man.
Right?
If you make it out, right? I mean,
right?
But all sorts of stuff. So yeah, the basic, people like, oh, what is all this stuff? So the basic, we talked about ingredients, milk, raw eggs, milk and sugar, spices have added to it. Yep. And then monks were the ones who possibly add like the whipping of the eggs to it to kind of make it kind of lighter and frothier.
A little frothy.
And they also spiked it often, and they made a bunch of it. But now you can get vanilla eggnog, you can get pumpkin eggnog.
Pumpkin eggnog. Listen, I'm a big fan of pumpkin spice.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. I like this pumpkin spice coffee.
Yeah.
Pumpkin eggnog.
No.
I don't know. I'd have to try it.
Yeah.
I'd have to try it. I gotta go to the store later now.
Yeah. I don't know if that is done as Thanksgiving's done. Like I've seen it. I think Stewart's may have it, or some places
Pumpkin
like upstate.
eggnog. Stewart's got everything.
Stewart's, it's like upstate, like convenience store.
Yeah.
I mean, they're everywhere. You go like in the Adirondacks before a hike, I get a coffee at Stewart's. Get some Slim Jims. A couple of fun facts here, and then we'll switch over a little fruitcake.
Yeah.
So, what president? I don't know if you found this. What president had his own recipe for eggnog?
All right. What president had his own recipe? I'm gonna go with. Let me think about this. He's got to be up from New England. I'm gonna say he's a New Englander.
Okay.
Okay. Or he's from the North.
Okay.
All right. Let's go Martin Van Buren.
Okay. George Washington, the first.
Really? He's Virginia. The guy's from the South.
Right. He had his own, and they don't know how many eggs he used. Records have it to being approximately 12, and I don't know portion. Like how you say you do a recipe and it'll serve 12. I don't know how many this served, okay? So just think about the ingredients and think about how many people, it's just for the big man himself. So we have 12 eggs, 1 quart of milk, a dozen tablespoons of sugar,
Ooh.
1 pint of brandy, half a pint of Jamaican rum, a quarter pint of sherry wine.
That was his eggnog?
That was his eggnog. Does that explain the wooden teeth?
Yeah. Holy moly. Oh, 12 teaspoons of sugar?
12 teaspoons of sugar.
Plus you're adding in all that alcohol.
Yeah. I mean,
Wow.
I think...
That is a strong
what's it,
eggnog.
4... I don't know. I'm not... Quick math. I don't know. Like a 4-to-1 ratio of alcohol to milk.
Yes. Yeah, the milk is just there to give it coloring.
That's it. Right, to make it a little opaque. But so he served it. Yeah, he served it at Naga at Mount Vernon, and he also served it too sometimes with sherry, rum, and rye whiskey.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
rye whiskey.
yeah, that's spicy. I mean, that's probably go nice. It was spice though.
Let me grab another tissue.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
No, and. One fun fact too. We were talking in West Point. I think that's New York, right? West Point, the college, right? I think I ran there once in college, and they had an eggnog riot there. Back in what was it here? Yeah, 1826. So long and short of it is, these guys around the holidays, all the cadets, you're good, wanted to have a little fun. So they spiked their nog, right? The colonel was Colonel Sylvanus Thayer. He's like, guys, no, this is not good. It's gonna get crazy. So he banned it. He said no. So then they still kept on smuggling it in from outside states and everything. So they're going knee deep into trouble, right? Into the trenches, literally. So he had a feeling that they were defying the odds. So he sent a few guys, kind of like spies, to kind of infiltrate their ranks and find out what's going on. Mm-hmm. They had a crazy fight broke out. 19 cadets were expelled from West Point Academy.
From the eggnog riot?
From the great eggnog riot of 1826.
You got to ask yourself, is the eggnog worth it? Is the eggnog, you right?
Yeah.
Was it worth getting kicked out of West Point?
I mean,
one of the greatest military academies.
Right. I mean, they're not accepting Joe Schmoes. And, can you imagine the parents, you serious?
Yeah.
Over eggnog? What is going on?
Yeah.
Is it stopping? Okay, I don't know. I don't know if my camera was stopping. Just checking.
Oh, no, we're good.
We're good.
Yeah.
All right. So, and then we'll end on, just coming up, we want to celebrate the day to have eggnog. I did not know this. December 24th is the official eggnog day. You know, like have
Christmas
these.
Eve.
Christmas Eve is eggnog day. So,
Well, I can tell you between now and Sunday
Mm-hmm.
is Christmas Eve, right? Between now and Sunday, I'll be going to the store, getting eggnog.
Yes.
Looking for
Good.
pumpkin eggnog.
Okay.
Now you got my interest peaked.
yeah.
You know, so I'm gonna be looking for it because I want to try it, and now I've got a craving for it.
Right.
And I've
Well,
also got to get some allergy medicine.
yeah, definitely. Get the one that doesn't make you all loopy, too. I mean,
Yeah.
I heard the spray stuff is good.
That's usually what I have. I'm all out.
Yeah.
I did take a Benadryl last night.
Yeah.
Woke up feeling great.
Good. Good.
Now
Good.
it's starting to wear off.
Oh, I know.
You know.
It's tough.
So
Well, I hope you feel better with that, and hopefully it'll go. I know.
But I don't. You know what it is? Every year I get allergies. Right? It's a seasonal allergy.
Yeah.
I don't feel that bad. It's just
Yeah.
the watering eyes, the watering nose.
Right.
You know?
It's like how much can you tolerate
Yeah.
before
It's
you
just
need to?
annoying.
Like when you're looking at someone and you're talking, you can't like stop itching or coughing or
Yeah.
whatever. Then it's like, okay, I need to do something. But it's a
Yeah.
fine line. You get some stuff. My wife will take some, and you just get like some people will get jittery,
Yeah.
you know, or some people will get like. But maybe eggnog is the secret to that.
It could
Like here.
be.
But cautious of how much you have. 1 cup of eggnog, so that's 8 ounces, like a coffee cup, right? Like this new Draper Radio coffee mug, which you can buy. It'll be yours
Shout
for
out to Draper
$16.99. It's coming to
Yep.
you. So 210 calories, 11 grams of fat, 150 milligrams of cholesterol.
Oh.
However, there is light eggnog for those watching the hips around the holidays. Just to put that out there.
Yeah. You just got to be careful what's making it light. Right.
Yes.
What are they doing?
If it's
I'm
just
always a little
water or
suspicious,
something, that's
right.
fine.
Right.
But if it's like mechanically separated chicken, then I might think separately. think differently about that.
Now I'm not so sure I'm going light.
No.
You know, just go for another jog after.
Yes. Oh, yeah, seriously. Now, one thing I wouldn't be able to jog after eating is fruitcake.
Oh. All right, so I did a little research
Okay.
on fruitcake.
Yes.
And this it goes back to the ancient Romans,
Oh, yes.
where they used to take stale bread
Okay.
and mix it with other ingredients like walnuts,
Right.
and what else? Is that? Raisins, so for them, it was something for a long journey, right? You're gonna take a long journey, and you need to give yourself some nutrients.
Yes.
So take some stale bread with walnuts and pecans and raisins.
Yeah.
And throw it all together.
That sounds-
and that'll get you through.
Right.
Right. That'll curb the hunger pains. However, it's developed into this. I guess kind of a joke, right?
It is. It really is. I think, yeah, so they call it kind of like the OG Cliff Bar.
Yeah.
You know, like your energy bar back in the day, because
Right.
those guys, those Romans, I mean, between like all like their conquering and stuff, they were probably moving often.
Oh yeah, moving often. Need a little sustenance. Throw in your bag.
Right, and it would last, you know. Did they? Oh, even further back, I found one too. Is now the funny thing is they never ate it; they only made it.
But never
Ate it, which is weird. Egyptians.
really.
They made it because it could go
Was it like a dare? I dare you
for the afterlife. You know, like how they prepare the
okay.
bodies and they put all this stuff in there that they wouldn't use. And if you can see, I'll put this fruitcake on there. But if you can peek around here, that was 1492 to 1473 BC, the world's oldest. And this is on the Met Museum, so I'm not sure if it's in the Met Museum down New York City.
Yeah.
Imagine that's going to be a little bit dry at this point. I'm just going to put that out there.
Gonna need a lot of eggnog to soak that in.
So yeah, they put in there for the afterlife. So all about the tomb of Hatnefer contained food of the spirits of Hatnefer and family members who were buried in the same tomb, along with loaves of bread, raisins, dates, with some sort of pudding seen here. So, we could probably call that, this would be like the closest, is labeled fruitcake.
Okay.
But yeah, it's in the Dynasty 18th, so 1492 to 1473 BC.
Oh, wow. That's
like charcoal.
That's charcoal.
You got to carbon date that.
That's cavemen.
Wow, that is something crazy. But yeah, they never ate it though. Maybe in the afterlife they nibbled. But they woke up and they're like, I could really use some of that fruitcake.
Yeah. Well, thank God they packed that for them.
That journey to the afterlife has got to be quite a trek. It's like make Everest look like a walk in the park.
Get some good old fruitcake to fuel you up.
Yeah, so, I mean, the Romans use it, Egyptians use it in the afterlife, but yeah. The Romans were the first to kind of have it and to eat it and whatnot. So what did you find about in terms of we said what ingredients? So we'd say bread of some sort, fruits.
Yep, fruits. Nuts. Raisins.
And probably my guess is too. I read that they needed to use sugar. Sugar helped with the preservation of the bread. Of the fruit, and then in the bread.
Right.
They just they had candied fruit around so that they preserved the fruit, and they're like, oh, we got so much extra candied fruit around, we might as well just shove that in.
Throw it in the bread.
And then they started using, getting it wood fired, and then 1800s, the cast iron came out.
Yep.
And then allowed for increase, written recipes started happening around then. Baking soda was added to lighten the cake. In Australia, they even used pineapples, which is, I don't know. And that's the thing. In fruit, and nuts were added by Texans later on, near 1900s. But some people are anti-nuts. Yeah. So those are the essential ingredients. And now, if you were to guess, I'm trying to think here. How much would you say? What would you use as a scale of reference for weight of an eggnog? Someone gave you eggnog.
Fruitcake.
Fruitcake. Thank you.
So fruitcake, I'm going to say, because it's got a lot of different ingredients.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 2 pounds.
Yeah. Depending on the size. I know this is just random. I don't even know if there's any factual, but they said of a newborn.
Really?
The average one is of a newborn.
So you're looking at 6, 7, 8 pounds.
Seriously.
Holy moly.
I mean, that is density. I mean, you're talking, you could,
do a little workout.
With it, a little fruitcake, 2 fruitcakes,
Yeah.
Juggling those. What's your secret to the biceps? Fruitcake.
I do an eggnog on this hand.
And a fruitcake, yeah.
Right?
And before you know it, I gained a little bit of weight, but my biceps are huge.
Yeah, I got huge biceps and a little midsection.
See Rocky? Yeah, I know. I got the Scott Calvin, sort of. Yeah.
Oh.
So, fruitcake, it was, all sorts of stuff. Called plum cake. Monks make everything.
Yeah.
They'll make eggnog. They make 20,000 up to 20,000 a year. Fruitcakes. And they they have Burgundy wine and Kentucky bourbon, so that tells me they were more Southern monks.
They were
Southern U.S. monks.
Southern monks.
If monks were monks in the U.S.,
there's got to be,
right?
There's got to be a few.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I always think of Robin Hood when I think of monks. You like the classic friar tuck with the bald top and or Robin Hood. Men in tights. Tight tights.
Yeah. The monk haircut's interesting. I wonder if
by choice.
Mark DeCoco gets a lot of that in the barber shop.
What are you getting today? I'd like to get the monk, please.
The monk.
Yeah.
Do you remember when the Caesar haircut was kind of hip?
What was this? Describe that to me again.
Kind of brush forward, but cut straight across almost.
Yeah.
But kind of a forward brush.
Was that kind of was that be 90s?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Justin Timberlake.
Late 90s?
Justin
Mid-90s?
Timberlake maybe esque.
Yeah, it's Justin Timberlake.
I could see him. The first guy I think of. Yeah.
So you could go in. Can I get the Caesar?
Yeah.
You know what? Give me the monk.
Give me the monk.
Just shave. Just cut Leave the sides. I need the top. Just, you know.
Right down the skin, too. Get it.
Yes.
Take the Bic razor out there.
Yes. Oh, my God.
Wow. I've done that once. And not the monk, but I like my head was itchy, and I was like, well, I'm in college. I'm just going to do what I want. And so I shaved it, and I had it bicked.
Yeah.
And I rubbed lotion on it. It helped for a little bit, but then my hair grew back and it still got itchy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it doesn't.
There's got to be some kind of
Yeah. Need a little Selsun Blue on that baby.
Selsun Blue. Medicated Selsun Blue.
So,
But yeah, so the monks are hammering out.
They're hammering out fruitcakes. Burgundy wine, Kentucky bourbon, or sherry wine. And they had, British. I mean, talk about, okay, so these fruitcakes are probably, I didn't find any caloric things, but like, okay, they're a lot. Right?
Fun.
I mean, you're not going to have one of those and go play a game of football or go for a run, because you're going to be like barfing.
Yeah.
But they had, British version was covered in marzipan icing.
Wow.
And marzipan's a nut base, right? If I recall. Yeah. So it's already rich.
I don't. You know, I said like I had so much confidence that I knew marzipan was nut based.
Sure.
I'm assuming it's nut based. I'm going with it. Sounds right.
Yes.
Sounds right.
I think I remember seeing or maybe it was shaped in an, I don't know. Maybe I'm nuts for thinking about it. Waka waka. So they made all that phenomenal stuff. Like, in Britain had, like, it was just horrible. Like in caloric. What else we got here? And some like fun facts here. So, like you talked about, like the militaries have used it as ration, because the shelf life. Some people, like foodies, have said, chefs, if you kept it in an airtight container, it could, in a cool, dark place, like how they tell you to store like all food, right? Yeah. It could last and be reheated a couple years later.
Really?
Yes.
Who's bold enough to do that?
I don't know. I got a few guys here. There's some Iowa friends that have been exchanging fruitcake since 1950s.
And they still, they slice it off? Okay.
All right, sorry. We have a sign on the door, but people keep coming in. They just want to see us. They just want to listen. They want to be live on Draper Radio. I think that's the truth.
Want to pop in as guests.
They want, but I don't know if we're ready to shell out the money to pay other people to come on.
It's not in the budget right now.
Not there.
Not in the budget.
No. So we're kind of wrapping up fruitcake here, and so some guys been exchanging fruitcake since 1950s. And what helps it last long? I pulled some science on this. So there's starch crystals and the dried fruit both absorb water that would otherwise evaporate and release the water and then it gets released when it's slowly warmed, transforming the cement block back to the spongy cake. So the starch crystals and the dried fruit, that little combo, that's my surface level science right there.
Science is so interesting.
It's so fascinating. I love that. I love having Miss Niles on, learning all about that. Science and art art and many things go hand in hand.
Yeah, 100%.
So that helps to preserve. So these guys going back and forth, 1950s. But who was it there? We got. There was a joke I had. I forgot the guy. Johnny Carson said, "There's really only one fruitcake. It's been passed around since it was first made." Right. It's the same.
Very true.
It's the same fruitcake.
That's exactly what you said. It's like now everything that I've read. People make it, but just for a joke,
right?
It's not really.
It is. It's like you go to a party and like you see like a movie and like they have like a table full thanks, I'll store that with the others.
Yeah.
And it's like a brick wall.
It's just a brick wall.
It could be a brick wall.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised the military, when they're using that, they didn't have any cover. They start stacking up their rations.
Stack it up. There's nothing behind this.
No, the bullet just go and just drop, depending on the age. So two more presidential things here going on. So President Rutherford B. Hayes, they had a fruit. Allegedly, there was a fruitcake. They had that was around since 1848. It's not quite the oldest one, but that was connected with him.
Okay.
And then there's another one. It was a New York Times columnist. He inherited one. It was, I guess, George Washington was gifted, a fruitcake around the holidays, surprisingly. Sure. And the baker tried to pawn it off to people. They said he was probably slicing it with a hacksaw because it was getting so thick and old. Hatchet. And he allegedly still has the original fruitcake that he gave to George Washington that he didn't want, and that would be at 221 years old.
Wow. Good.
So good. I mean, the Egyptian one, I'm not sure I tried that.
It's a couple thousand years old.
Couple thousand.
Yeah.
And then, last thing, 1700s, fruitcake was outlawed because it was too rich in Europe.
I read that.
Ridiculous.
They were so rich, fruitcakes were rumored to have been considered sinful.
Yes.
Sinful and outlawed.
And that's
going to wrap it up for us.
Wrap it up.
Happy holidays,
everybody. Guys.
Enjoy.
Drink
your eggnog and eat your fruitcake.
Yes, get some. And subscribe.